Great. So now on question 2 from the summer 2011 paper. The curve y equals ln x is transformed by, right, a reflection of the x-axis, followed by a stretch with scale factor 3 parallel to the y-axis, followed by a translation in the positive y direction by natural log of 4. Find the equation of the resulting curve, giving your answer in the form y equals ln of x. Well, actually one of the nice things here, we have got 3 transformations, but the 2 that are more complicated are in the easier direction. It's always easier to work with things happening parallel to the y-axis, because that's outside the function. So that's quite nice when we read that. Let's work through these in order then. So we start with y equals natural log of x. There it is. And we're told that that is reflected in the x-axis. Well, that reads at first like it's an x direction thing, but it's not, is it? Reflecting the x-axis means multiplying by -1, isn't it? That's a stretch, scale factor -1. So that takes us to, the next thing that happens is it looks like that, a reflection of the x-axis. Then it says, followed by a stretch with scale factor 3 parallel to the y-axis. Actually, we could have merged these together, couldn't we? Because this really, the combined pair there, mean a stretch scale factor -3 parallel to the y-axis. So the next thing that's happened is that gives us our stretch scale factor 3 parallel to y. We're in what we call the blue type of things. We're all in parallel to the y-axis kind of descriptions here. So the third one, followed by a translation in the positive y direction by ln 4. That means you would add natural log of 4 to everything here to translate it up in the y direction. So the final thing is we have that plus natural log of 4. And actually all we've got to do now is the question says, giving your answer in the form y equals natural log of some function of x. So we go back to the happy days of core 2 and our laws of logarithms that we learnt, and see if we can work something out with these. Now, when we did the laws of logarithms, you had this one where you added things together, but you could only do that if the number in front of the log was the same. So before we do anything else, we need to sort out this -3. When I did it with my groups, the third law of logarithms that we put down was the one that said that if you have log base a of x to the n, that equals n log base a of x. Do you remember that one? And that's what we're going to use here, isn't it? Because we've got a number in front of our logarithm, so we'll write it in that form. So this becomes natural log of x to the -3 plus natural log of 4. And we also, remembering back, we had a law of logarithms that says log base a of x plus log base a of y is log base a of xy. And so we're going to use that and say this is natural log of 4x to the -3. 4 times x to the -3. And that's done what the question wanted. We might, if we want to be really nice with this, write it being natural log of 4 over x cubed, but either one of those 2 answers would be acceptable. And that was 4 marks. That's good, isn't it?